participating. If you haven't clicked subscribe on YouTube, please click on subscribe. If you like the content, you find it useful, please share it. Helps us with our marketing effort. That will be greatly appreciated. Alon, Bob, Ed, Lalit, Mark, Martin, Peter, Bill, William. I'm glad you guys are able to take a break from the turkey dinner. Put up the yellow tunnel. Give me 1 second. Let me see what's going on with yellow tunnel. All right, sorry about the delay. Okay, now I can start. Welcome to Tradespoon and Yellowtown. It's Vlad Karpel, I'm CEO and founder of both companies, and today we're going to have a live trading room open to trade stock and options using our technology. For those of you who are new, welcome. If this is your first live event, do me a favor, type in first. Always want to welcome new subscribers. Disclosures are very important. If you need to trade in stock or options, I encourage you to visit the link on your screen, optionscreening.com, so you understand the risk associated with trading stock or options. Level for general education information purposes only. All right, trading psychology is important, right? I encourage you to try. I always say that in the web, where you put down every trade you make, and you decide on the maximum exposure per trade, right? And it's always the same, finding that anchor point. I propose 2.5% of your portfolio per position. Per trade, 1%. Right? Split your position into 2 trades. Split your trades into 2. Risk only 1% of your portfolio per trade. Find these stop loss target gains. All right. Decide them before you enter the trade. Document that in a journal, and then grade yourself. If you're always risking the same amount of money, you give yourself A or B. Sometimes you'll make money, sometimes you lose money. It's, one day it's $250, next day it's $500, then it's $1,000. Then you give yourself C or D. I think 2.5% is probably fair enough. 1% per trade. That's kind of what most people suggest. But we all have different relationships. And the idea is to avoid fight or flight response, right? If you're on the wrong side of the market, and have, kind of engage your system too. Every time you face in stop loss, you can engage your system too, right? Instead of system one. Instead of making an emotional, rash decision you wish to risk, I will always suggest, I will always show you what I do as a trader and as an investor. And compounding investment, right? Set a goal, keep it as a business. Set your weekly goal, set your in a week. It's if you consistently can deliver 0.5 to 1% a week, right? So that's what I encourage you to do. In terms of figuring out that risk, I would look at the spiders revenue. Right now, it's only from 16 to 20 is what? 10% increase. It actually dropped 4 or 5% after that, but now I think it's turning flat, slightly positive. So NVIDIA continues to deliver, but again, the bar is set very high. You know, if NVIDIA was at 240, it would be up probably 10 to 20%. But because it's at 500, for now, it has hard time breaking through this overhead resistance. But, you know, great quarter. They beat bottom, top, and guided higher, which is good. But that's unknown is out of the way. Doesn't look like it has any big effect on the market. Except that, you know, it doesn't look like it's going to break out of the 52-week high, at least not today. What else? Meeting minutes yesterday were dovish, right? Because if you look at the interest rates, we are grinding lower. Right? At least we were grinding lower. Right, and every week we're posting marginal new lows. Basically, we're retesting the September, right? Which some people anticipated, some people did not. That's the overlay, and now we're back to this line. So psychologically, from the market perspective, it's a very important level, right? If we rebound back to 5%, market will sell off. So then watch, you know, December. So November, we're probably done. We do have next week, but not. I'm in that camp. But I think the best part of the rally, that's why dollar cost average is probably an ideal strategy, dollar cost average. We are trying to break through, for now, unsuccessful in December. Yeah, I mean, usually CPI, PPI data, or some macroeconomic data like manufacturing services, PMI. The exposure, I think the pullbacks will be shallow. I think they'll be shallow. I think hold, buy and pullback, I would maybe suck it, which is fine. I would put 442, 440 is your stop level, right? I mean, if you're an aggressive short-term trader, I would put 446, right? That's the gap. So usually day traders or short-term traders will say 446. If you don't like to make quick decisions, then I would say 440, right? So 440, it's 15 points. Right, 50 points to the downside because you think we're going to retest or maybe even break. A lot of people think we're going to actually break January, which completely possible. So you're looking for, you know, maybe 25 points to the upside, right? You're very bullish on the market. You know, I would suggest 15 points to the downside. So almost 2 to 1 risk reward. Obviously, to get more aggressive, you need spiders to clear that level. So I would wait till we at least there's signs, you know, at least for a couple hours, better a couple of days we're above this level. But as of right now, 6 shares times 455, that's $2,500 of $10,000, right? So it's a pretty big allocation. You don't want to buy on margin, you know. That would be my proposal. If you want to trade options, you do option spread. Again, you risk $800, right? So you do a $5 spread and you risk $1, right? Or something like that. So that would be my proposal. Meanwhile, QQQ is up. In terms of earnings, let's watch the word earnings. So we talked NVIDIA because, again, it has to move beyond expectation, and on one side it's overbought, on the other side it's one of the better stocks, so it's actually flat, right? So if you did a straddle, you know, that would be almost instantaneously losing money. If you did a strangle, Okay, then this at the closing bell. So let's watch HPQ. It was down actually significantly pre-call. So I'm still $1.30 away. $1.30 away. Let's see. It's now it's trading at 3 cents, 3 to 4 cents. Q29. So let's put an order. To close it for $0.03. So again, remember tomorrow is a day off, right? Happy Thanksgiving if I don't get a chance to. I'm very thankful. Closing bell on Friday. We will have a closing bell today. No closing bell on Friday, but we'll have the morning bell and strategy roundtable. What else? Deer is down 6%, right? So it's good that we did not do the puts, right? I was talking about that the risk is to the downside. I was right. You didn't get enough premium for 7% drop. So you can close the calls. And NVIDIA's flat, JWN is down 6%. So I'm out of HPQ. It looks like it's rolling over slowly, but I don't want to wait till Friday, right? Because buyers step in, we could get to 30 level, right? So that would be my proposal. Apple is up 1%. Talked about Deer, we talked today's pullback. So that's good. QQQ up 1%. So QQQ looks like it is breaking above August highs. Let's look. Yeah, so it's decisively above the August highs. Not decisively, but it looks like it's breaking out, and it's basically retesting 2021 bull cycle, right? So all-time high around 400. One thing is to keep an eye is IWM, right? We're kind of in a similar setup that we were a few times a year. this broadening of participation, right? That the small caps, unless small caps start rallying and the regional banks start rallying, right, participating, that this is, again, mega cap technology stocks, Magnificent Seven, and they can only go that so far. Not any questions. So the 200-day moving average. So until it breaks above 181, but again, sitting 10-year yield below 420, below 430. Questions? Bob, yeah, I think the saga continues. I don't know. I think they're trying to put him back to the OpenGPT company, but I think his I'm not sure how much it affects on the market. Between Qs and spiders mild back then spiders color. Mild, so not showing divergence between QQQs. Model showing short-term divergence between the QQQs are a lot more bullish, right? You have 4 weeks of this relentless high NVIDIA and the like. And it broke to this level, right? What does the model say? Is the model still bearish? Way too quick, way too far. That it's overbought. I mean, I agree with the model that it is overbought and it should pull back, but it's one of those examples where pendulum swings to extremes, right? We haven't had this type of rally since probably July of 22 lows, right? 4 weeks of higher highs, right? So, in terms of momentum and thrust. So, but pendulum can swing. We can continue going higher. Something has to divert this bullishness. Mainly because of seasonality. Through October, usually November, December, January, you have a catch-up trade, right? And people are overly enthusiastic about the trade. My personal opinion that as long as IWM underperforming, down for the year, right? Down for the year. So that's not good, right? That means that, that's kind of same idea, same arguments. Unless you want to day trade it, right? I'm sure if I want to trade that to the upside. To the downside also doesn't make sense. Probably would want to wait. Okay, let's look. All right, we're almost done with the week, right? Everybody's already. So let's talk about what happened, if anything has changed. Materials, nice rebound, but still kind of a downtrend. I mean, Bob mentioned yesterday BHP and So some of the material stocks are definitely, looks like they want to break out, but as a sector, as a ETF, I would say still weak, very weak. Home builders, nice rebound, right? We're retesting highs similar to technology bounce, but we're not making new highs. So it looks like it's now, this week it's underperforming technology. So we didn't make any new highs. Metals and miners, same thing. Probably did not make any new highs this week. Well, actually, no, it's actually flat, right? Not making new highs. Germany, not making new highs. China, not making new highs. VIX is, any negative news could create, spark in volatility. So we have a 12 handle. Industrials are not going higher. Industrials down, right? XLE is down, making new lows. But it's a good example of a bottoming process, right? Basically, 5 weeks in a row we're flat. It could be a rebound, right? Consolidation before rebound because we are sitting at, or it could be continuation, right? Supposedly, I don't know where the next when is that meeting, but they're supposed to be this weekend. Now it's not this weekend, so that's causing some spark in volatility in energy. So just have to wait for OPEC meeting. Let's look at the week. Not making, it made new lows, but it's actually turning positive. So I would watch it, right? Same thing as 10-year. So around 92 level. So it's right up on, it's trying to, it has to break through this level. Whether it will or not, we'll see. But you can see people are buying treasuries, right? Volume is just huge in TLT. More so than in October or last year, right? So people are a lot more enthusiastic about yield. They were, everybody was wrong this year. I think everybody betting that they're going to be right next year, that Fed is going to lower interest rates. So also need to be careful about this trade. It didn't work out really well this year. Let's see, gold, multi-year highs. REITs still strong downtrend. A lot of people talking about biotech, that the next year is going to be biotech. For now, it's a very weak rebound. Nothing special. And same thing with healthcare. A lot of people are saying next year is going to be a year of healthcare. You do have this week is a strong rebound, kind of consolidation and up. So it's a good setup. So XLV, something to keep an eye on. IWM did not make new highs this week. So that's, again, consumer discretionary did not make new highs this week. Transportation. So you can see momentum is deteriorating in most of the asset classes except technology. Technology still strong momentum to the upside. Let's see. So QQQ, obviously, another week of gains, and semis are same thing. All right. Khaija, good call. Yeah, so good call on NVIDIA. I agree. It's been a popular trade on social media, right? On social media, but this year, a lot of people got burned, right? You can see that actually retail, you really have to have an opinion that, right? And it did hit a home run and it's still down 4%, right? Just expectations are very high. Regression to mean works more often than not, right? Regression to mean works more often than not. Right, if NVIDIA was, a 200-day moving average or at least a 50-day moving average, you would see a completely different reaction. So it's not an element of luck, right? The earnings reaction of the earnings is more element of, luck. And right, you triple on Cisco because Cisco made a big move. I think was extremely overbought. Wait, it wasn't over. Let's see. No, it wasn't extremely overbought. It was kind of in the middle of the range. So this big drop in Cisco, I mean, if you could have predicted it, I doubt, right? I doubt you could have predicted it, but, it worked. It worked this time. I think for me, iron counters work better than straddles on earnings. I mean, everybody's different. Maybe, maybe you have that good way, or maybe you have some additional research that tells you that Cisco is right. 10% drop for Cisco last time happened. I mean, it does have a tendency to, move a lot. But last time we have a drop was in 22, right? May of 22, which was a very bearish market. So that's kind of explained. That then it makes sense. And even then, it did not drop. Oh, it did drop 10%. So this makes sense, right? Everybody was bearish. Anything wrong you say, and everybody's selling off because we had a big sell-off in May of 22. But this when market is up and everything that goes up vertically and anticipate 10% drop, that should that be Friday? The toolbox shows data for tomorrow. It should be Friday's date. Sorry, I need to adjust this. Probably doesn't see the holiday. Yeah. No, 22. I mean, today it shows today's date, which is correct, but obviously for tomorrow we're off. So it will. I'll adjust it. There's a day of technical issues. Okay. Thank you, Bill. Cruise ship to follow. So our chart does look good, and you do have that anchor point. Here you can say. When crude oil is down, so airlines are up, so that makes sense. That makes sense. Cruise ships, I don't know if there is an ETF similar to jets. A lot of it has to do with the crude oil, right? A lot of this probably has to do with crude oil, right? Because they need a lot of oil. So crude oil looks bearish. That gives then the retailers should benefit. Airlines should benefit. How much from? Right, I'm not sure. Kind of 3 weeks. It's not really going lower, and it's sitting. It's not that. Hilton, yes, Hilton looks strong. Hilton looks vertical line breaking out. It looks like a tech stock. It's pulling back. Asia, nice trade. Thank you, Haish. Yeah, GPS was an issue. But again, next time, one suggestion is to buy pre-market. Pre-market, you could have bought stock at least 50 shares for 100. Right, so there were opportunities. I mean, I also lost money, but I recovered some of that money because I bought the stock. Right, I bought the stock. But it's been because market is oversold, and you have these large moves. There are big reactions to all of these companies, right? Whether it's GPS or AEO, or they're all kind of either up a lot. I mean, this last 2 weeks, a lot of retail companies announced earnings, and they all made large moves up or down. Right, because of the market conditions. Yes, Bill, I will address the issue. Libra. I don't do Mercado Libre earnings is extremely wide. But if you're buying stock, even though it's a very low volume, obviously, but nice call on Mercado Libre. So Larissa, QQQ forecast $2 has been totally wrong since last week. I mean, it's shown that the stock market is overbought, and it should roll. It's more on physics, right? Physics, wave theory, regression to mean, right? And right now, this move is very unusual, right? It's very unusual. So, not sure what else to say about that. I'm looking at seasonality, I'm looking at interest rates and dollars. So I did say that even though it's overbought, it's been overbought for the past 2 weeks, it continues to grind higher. I mean, today is the last day where it's gonna roll over, maybe, right? I mean, usually when you have this large rally, right? You have large rally to 393, and then you roll in, you're going back down, maybe turning negative, right? ARK already turned negative. Maybe that's that reversal, right? But basically, it tells you that QQQ is overbought. And then the question is usually, well, I don't think we're going to have elevated down, not now, but you do need some kind of a pullback. Actually, the model is doing a good job telling you that for the months of November, already at 390. So the model, I think, is doing a good job kind of warning you that you should not chase the market, that the market is over. So from that perspective, I think model is doing a good job. The fact that, for the past 2 weeks, it says, it's overbought and it continues going higher. I mean, true, it's been incorrect, but the fact that it called 390 as a top for November and we're already at 390, I mean, that's a pretty good tool, right? That gives you kind of sense that can go to 400 maybe, but, there's a lot of room to the downside if there is any negative news, and to the upside, not that much room. And you kind of can see today with reversal on QQ. I'm not saying that we're going to close negative, but if we're going to close negative today and on Friday QQQ negative, then this rally is probably needs some kind of breather, right? Some kind of a break, and maybe to at least 380, maybe some kind of a pullback. And you can see it by NVIDIA, right? It was up. I mean, it was down 5. And if NVIDIA is down, then you're not going to have a lot of momentum to the upside. So that is something to keep an eye on. Let's see what's going on with interest rates. So was there any announcement? So it looks like we're reversing. Or just oversold, right? It's oversold. Yield just jumped. 9 o'clock. Do we have something at 9 o'clock? Wednesday. No, wrong Wednesday. 9 o'clock. Yeah, nothing just. Oh, consumer sentiment. Final. Okay, consumer sentiment is going to drive the market yield back up, and so we can, this is more of a technical trading, right? So to answer your question, I personally would just be careful and not chase the market, and wait kind of for these pullbacks to occur. Thank you, Larissa. Sassy. Did I say it's correct? Sorry, because it says HAE, but I can call you. That's fine if I remember. Sassy. Did I say it correctly? Sassy. Ah, short for Cecilia. Got it. Cecilia. Cecilia. Okay. All right, we have more and more people joining. Thank you for participating. So yeah, so we talked about NVIDIA. It's, if it's not going higher, it's probably going lower, right? So if it cannot break through the overhead resistance August high, that means it's a pullback, right? And you probably want. So that's NVIDIA. Oil. What else is interesting? How's Bitcoin? That's in the news. It's actually holding up despite Binance. Talking for about 2 weeks, maybe it's starting now, right? So we'll see. I mean, 10 minutes doesn't set the trend, but today you might start kind of looking for some kind of support resistance and start thinking about buying. All right. So, and first I want to see if this level holds. If it doesn't, I would wait. Any questions? Please type in questions in stream chat, or at least say thank you. Oh, it's hi and happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, Discord guys. It'll be a full class. So I love it, despite all the. Actually, if you like to collect dividend, right? Verizon 7% dividend, and it's grinding higher, and especially if interest rates are not going to go back to 5%, if you can collect. Verizon or AT&T. Actually, I think Verizon is outperforming AT&T. But you're collecting 7%, right? Probably the worst is over for Verizon. I mean, you could have, obviously, if interest rates go back up, that's the risk. But at least you're collecting 7%. And whether interest rates will be lower the first half of the year, next year, or the second half, if you have that long-term horizon, then, then this is something, they deliver decent earnings. So Verizon, GE, right? Bob's favorite GE is back on. General Electric 14. Well, maybe this rally is, this strong 3, 4, probably in wave 5, but that wave 5 can continue through January, right? So that would be a good setup, right? So I like model picked it up. GE, I like Verizon. I mean, I know a lot of people trade at 5, not very liquid stock, but if your liquidity is not something you're really concerned about, same idea, right? You want it, ideally you want it to clear this level. Is it up today? Yeah, it's actually outperforming the market. So, you want it to clear this level, but, there's really no overhead resistance. So some of the other ideas that popped up. Cecilia. Okay, got it. Very good. I'm glad I learned your name. Bob, PM coach. Yes, Scott is going to do the closing bell. Cecilia. Okay, sounds good, Cici. If Luna is getting turkey. Yes, Luna is getting turkey. Mark, happy Thanksgiving. I mean, there is a dividend date, right? Dividends work, there is a quarterly or annual. I mean, there's a dividend date and then schedule. Here looks like it's quarterly. Every quarter, it's giving you a dividend, right? Which would be, 7.14 divided by 4, so a little bit less than 2%. Right? So every quarter, you get a little bit less than 2%. Own the shares for you to receive the dividend, right? You have to have the shares in order for you to receive a dividend, right? I personally don't trade around, dividend dates. To me, it doesn't matter if it's October 6th or I wouldn't hold it. If I'm, some people hold Verizon just for the sake of dividend, right? But the problem is if you did that when Verizon was at 60 and it lost half of its value, well, the 7% dividend doesn't really help you if you lost 50% of your position. So I do follow technicals, and I would not, just like I don't harm or close to the bottom, and it pays 7%, and you see an upside rate, 4.5%. So Bob, thank you. All right, 9:16. Let's see what happened today. All right. I've cleared this level. We're trying to clear this level. So if there is not much overhead resistance, at least till 17 probably. All right. Where's QQQ? Spider's slightly positive, and QQQ also slightly positive. Okay. Happy Thanksgiving. Best wishes to you and your family. I really appreciate you guys participating every day. I'm very thankful for that. And thank you on YouTube. And I will see you on Friday. All right. Thank you very much, and have a great day. Faust, happy Thanksgiving. CC, happy Thanksgiving. Peter, happy Thanksgiving. Bill, thank you. Thank you for kind words. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Enjoy your turkey. Don't eat too much.